We all saw the breaking news that happened on Thursday at around 5:30 in the afternoon. Breaking news.
Yep.
Former President of the United States, Donald J. Trump,
Guilty.
convicted, charged, criminal, 34 counts. He showed up the next day to Trump Tower. He put on his best suit, and he did his thing and he gave a speech. And he held a press conference at Trump Tower the day after his guilty verdict. I want you guys to listen in.
That's from our website.
And hear what, this is on VT.com.
Yep.
Listen in to what Trump had to say at this press conference. Holly, you got this? Let's go.
When you look at our country, what's happening where millions and millions of people are
we put
flowing
the
in
audio
from
up?
all parts of the world, not just South America, from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle
Yes,
East.
we can't hear anything.
And
Okay.
they're coming in from jails
So
and
pause
prisons.
it for a second. Thank you. Did the audience hear that? I heard none of it.
No, I didn't hear any
So
of
if
it.
we can't turn that up. By the way, that was the first 9 seconds. Then go to 116 and play the rest of what Trump had to say.
And they're coming in from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're coming in from all over the world into our country. And we have a president
116?
and a group of fascists that don't want to do anything about it. Because they could right now, today, he could stop it. But he's not. They're destroying our country. Our country is in very bad shape. And they're very much against me saying these things. They want to raise your taxes by 4 times.
Ali.
They want to stop you from having cars with their
Yes.
ridiculous mandates that make it impossible for you to get a car or afford a car.
So he's railing on the Biden administration right there, but specifically I want to focus on what he had to say about the verdict at 116. Go ahead.
It's ready.
Highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before. I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands
Nasty.
of dollars in penalties and fines
Nasty woman.
and was threatened with jail.
Right.
Think of it. I'm the leading candidate. I'm leading Biden by a lot, and I'm leading the Republicans to the point where that's over. So I'm the leading person for president, and I'm under a gag order by a man that can't put 2 sentences together, given by a court. And they are in total conjunction with the White House and the DOJ, just so you understand. This is all done by Biden and his people. And maybe his people more importantly. I don't know if Biden knows too much about it, because I don't know if he knows about anything. But he's nevertheless the president, so we have to use his name. And this is done by Washington, and nobody's ever seen anything like it.
So I'll say a few things about this. Do I like to see what's happening with President Trump? Hell no. I don't think this is a good look for our country. At the same time, do I think he did some of the things that he's accused of? Well, yeah. Okay. Did he meet up with Stormy Daniels? Yes. Did they probably go into a room together? Yes. Was there some sexual misconduct that was going on there? Yes, allegedly. Were checks cut via Michael Cohen? Well, yes. Do I think these are felonies? That the President of the United States, 34 counts, should potentially end up in jail? Hell no. So 2 things could be true at once. I could be like, yeah, I believe the jury, took the evidence into account, and I believe that the judge, however impartial, was at least fair. I don't know. He did contribute a massive amount of money to the Biden campaign. The judge, do you know how much he contributed? Judge Juan Marchand, he contributed $15 to the Biden campaign. 15. So is that compromised or not? I don't know. Not a lot of money.
Still.
But still,
Any money is money.
follow the money.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
exactly.
I don't like it.
Me neither.
So, but then also when Donald Trump says, Biden can't put 2 sentences together, I think when you set the bar so low for somebody, all they could do is jump over that low bar. And when he says, I'm beating Biden by a lot,
Yeah.
I'll show you what these polls are looking like now. It's not a lot. So we'll have that conversation. Again, I'm being fair, guys. I actually want Donald Trump to have the ability to beat Joe Biden in the election on November 5th. This trying to beat Trump in the pregame, I think is a load of BS. So, Trump is going to have the ability to appeal. I hope that he wins this appeal, and I hope that there's a free and fair election come November 5th. That's what I want for this country. But when you set the bar so low for Joe Biden, and they interview Joe Biden, and he's able to form a couple sentences, it kind of looks like maybe you're being a little hyperbolic.
Yeah.
So here's Joe Biden commenting on Trump's claims that he's behind his legal woes. He said, "I didn't know I was that powerful." Let's get that clip ready. So Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy questioned President Biden about Trump's assertions. Trump claimed that his legal problems were being orchestrated by Biden and his people, though there is no evidence that the Biden White House played a role in the case that was brought by the state of New York. You know, we got 50 states in this country, Nat. I know you're really good with the states.
50.
Mashed potato. And then collard greens.
Yes.
You know, federal executive office, the Department of Justice doesn't really have jurisdiction about what's going on in the state of New York or in the Manhattan district. Doesn't take a attorney to know that. By the way, I took my LSATs. I almost went to law school. Didn't. So you're talking to a guy who studied his LSATs.
Oh.
Meaning, I am definitely not a lawyer.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say, you didn't pass, though.
but I know the law.
Yeah, okay.
So here's what Biden had to say to Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy. Go ahead.
2 sentence.
Helps Trump in the election. Are you worried that this could happen to you someday? Somebody comes up with some charges and tries to bring you into court after your term?
The system still works.
And when Trump says you're just trying to bruise him, what do you say? Politically, he thinks you're pulling the strings behind the scenes, doing all this to help
I
yourself.
didn't know it was that powerful.
So
He's awake today.
when he's saying, I didn't know that was power. There it is. See,
Yeah.
make the jokes. He's awake. Look, I'll say this about Joe Biden. Is he all there? Nah. You know, I have multiple bets with multiple people. I'll be following up whether Joe Biden will actually be the nominee. I think he will be. I have multiple bets that I made 4 years ago whether Joe Biden is going to finish his first 4 years. I'll be following up on the money.
Nice.
Why do I know this? Why would I have this, like, again, non-emotional?
Yeah.
What business am I in?
Business of money and
But-
people.
No, but like my
Oh.
company, my other company.
Oh, yeah. Insurance.
I'm insurance, but it's something called life settlements. And
Yeah.
part of the cornerstone of life settlements is we buy out existing life insurance policies for cash. That's neither here nor there, but the cornerstone for us determining how much money to pay out is we determine
the life expectancy.
the life expectancy
Yep.
of
people.
not hundreds, not thousands,
Millions.
not tens of thousands, millions of people. So all you need to do is put a calculation in. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. You have an 80-year-old male with the following conditions. He sniffs kids from time to time. He likes ice cream. He may or may not have dementia. I don't know what's going on here. He's from Delaware. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's going to live another 12 years.
B rating.
And that was,
Yikes.
okay? So, you know, Jimmy Carter, who he's often compared to, I think is 99, about to be 100 now.
Yep.
So I was never in the camp that Joe Biden's going to die in office. I was never that guy.
Right.
So I took every bet that. Now, does that mean I'm voting for Biden? No. It's just, I will take stupid bets.
I know you will.
Oh, you don't think? Okay. I'll take your
money.
bet. So Joe Biden puts these 2 sentences together, basically saying, yeah, I didn't do anything. I have no role in this.
He probably didn't. He's just behind the scenes. Everybody probably does it for him. He's just the walking guy. He's the Muppet that's walking around that's being controlled by the people doing
So
whatever
he's a
they're doing.
Muppet that's walking around
Yeah.
being controlled by people.
Yeah, he looks completely checked out. Every time you see him, he looks like a different guy. Every time he opens his mouth, he sounds like a different guy. And if you want to be honest, you only see so many of the people behind him. His face is plastered so many places. The people behind him, like, who's really in his camp? Who's his back end? What does their marketing team look like? What do those people look like? I never see them. I don't know about you, but I've seen some of Trump's camp. I've seen the individuals who work a part of that team. And, you know, when you don't see the real people behind the scenes, you question, you know, who's the person leading the
Natalia
pack.
just went, there's a shadow
I'm
government.
sorry,
there's a
but
government.
it's true.
Okay, who's
It's
pulling the
true.
strings?
You are who your team is.
Well,
If your
I'll tell
team
you
is-
this. I will tell you this. There's a lot of people that agree with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that voted for Biden that agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. But I actually had a conversation with one Chris Cuomo, you ever heard of him?
I've heard of him.
Oh, I know. I see the way that you be looking at my friend Chris.
Chris is great. He does great.
Chris is great. Chris, I'm not going to say who said it or said what. He goes, you want to know the scariest thing about what's going on in the Biden administration? Everyone thinks that it's someone else calling the shots, that he's the one that's listening to this dark puppet, shadowy government. Is it Obama?
Oh.
Okay. Is it the chief of staff? Who is it? What's going on there? Is it Susan Rice? Who is it? Who's behind the scenes? He goes, I got scary news for you. It's actually him. That's even scarier. The call's coming from inside the house. Joe Biden. I said, how do you know that? He goes, I have a guy. You don't think Chris Cuomo knows somebody?
Yeah.
The Democratic Party that's working inside the house? How scary is that now?
That is even more scary.
Okay, so there you go, there, puppet master.
Yikes.
But, so we'll see what happens with that. So Trump's calling it rigged. Biden's calling it reckless. Now, Trump has surrogates, lawyers that basically defend him. Talking heads, as they say.
Oh.
We've had Alina Habba on the podcast.
Yes.
The lovely
She was awesome.
Trump lawyer Alina Habba. Holla! Alina Habba, she's great. She's just cool as hell and
She is.
smart
Yes.
and classy.
She sure
I'm a fan.
I'm
a fan.
Me too.
Shout out to Alina. But she's been on the podcast. She's educated us. She's obviously not happy here.
Yep.
She was one of the people representing Trump.
Yep.
She caught that L, but we'll see what happens with the trial part 2. So George Stephanopoulos, another talking head on NBC, he cuts off the Trump lawyer after he suggests that Biden was behind Trump's conviction. Again, this is Alvin Bragg, the DA, Letitia James. She is the Attorney General out there in New York. This is the judge, Juan Marchand. I couldn't think of the word judge. This is the jury. Judge, jury, executioner. This is one of Trump's attorneys basically saying, yeah, I think it was Biden behind this. And George Stephanopoulos said, let's roll this clip. It's at 7:28. You can play it a little faster.
You want to talk about the politicization of the legal system? I mean, this is Exhibit A. It's absolutely unprecedented in American history. It's not the way that our campaigns are supposed to be run. We contest elections at the ballot box, not in the courts in this country.
That is true, but of course, we've never had a former president or a presidential candidate facing the kind of charges that the president faced because of his own activities. And of course, the Attorney General in Manhattan has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. Finally, what do you expect from the sentencing process?
I vehemently disagree that the district attorney in New York was not politically motivated here, and I vehemently disagree that President Biden and his political allies aren't up to their necks in this prosecution. I think the fact
there's
that
no
the Biden
evidence of that,
campaign
sir. There's no. I'm not going to let you continue to say that. There's just zero evidence of that.
Well, how about the fact that Matthew
is
Colangelo
elected.
was standing over Alvin Bragg's shoulder when he announced this verdict? I mean, Colangelo was the #3 official in the Biden Department of Justice who suddenly disappears and shows up as an assistant district attorney right as Trump's case in New York starts to proceed.
After
you want to talk about
political
You want to talk about political coordination?
This has nothing to do.
Right
this has nothing to do. No, it's not. This has nothing to do with President Biden. Do you want to answer the question about the sentencing process or not?
I completely disagree that this has nothing to do with President Biden. With respect to sentencing, as I said before, we're going to vigorously challenge this case on appeal. I don't think President Trump is going to end up being subject to any sentence whatsoever, and we look forward to getting this case into the next court and taking this again all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary to vindicate President Trump's rights.
Thanks.
There you go. Guys, I'm just going to continue to remind you, I'm on Team USA. I'm going to show you what the left is saying. I'm going to show you what the right is saying. You can determine where you go from here, but I'm trying to give you the truth. I don't have a narrative. I'm just trying to give you the truth. Now, somebody that is allegedly might have a narrative because he questioned Trump's loyalty or Trump questioned his loyalty, rather, is former FBI Director James Comey. James Comey, he's the one, by the way, a week ago that predicted on air, on camera, that Trump would be found guilty. People said, no way. But now he's on former White House Secretary Jen Psaki's show, Sock It To Me, baby, talking about what it would look like if Trump actually went to jail and the likelihood of him going to jail. Here's James Comey on Jen Psaki's show. Go ahead.
Said it was highly likely to result in a conviction. That's obviously what happened. A year ago, you made this prediction about Trump wearing an ankle bracelet. Do you think he's going to be wearing an ankle bracelet or be in jail? after the sentencing?
By the way, notice the spray tan.
I don't know.
He's trying
It
to do
seems
Trump.
unlikely, but I've never seen a defendant beg for it more by attacking the judge, attacking the jury, attacking the witnesses. One of the key things in assessing what sentence is appropriate, a judge looks at, so are you sorry for what you did? Are you respecting the system? This defendant is running the other way.
Before the verdict, you had said it was highly likely to result in a conviction.
Gotcha. So I don't know if you caught that right there. He basically said, look, do I think he's going to end up in jail? Unlikely, but I've never seen somebody beg so much to be put in jail. Trump was, the gag, they have a gag order. It's a beautiful, ugly gag order.
Yes.
What's a gag order? He's been held into contempt of court. If you ever see the movie My Cousin Vinny, my clock is ticking, if you don't remember that. My biological clock is ticking. A great scene. My Cousin Vinny. That's why I learned all my lawyer skills. My Cousin Vinny. Shout out to movies in the early 90s. Contempt of court is when the judge could basically say, oh, if you don't shut your mouth or act right, I'll throw your ass in jail. Stop talking. Fine, jail, sentence, bing, bing. Trump apparently got 10 of them. Now, how much are each one of those fines? I think it's like $1,000.
Oh.
Trump can pay it. But he said, I'd be pissed as hell if I was Trump too. Why the hell am I in court? All my business is out there. My stupid ass porn star ex-girlfriend is out there yapping at the gums. My ex-fixer, Michael Cohen, ratting on me, piece of shit. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Freaking pissed. I'm sitting in court. I should be campaigning. You got Sleepy Joe over there in the corner yawning. Yawning and falling.
Help.
But then he says, okay, he's begging for it. Contempt of court. Never seen anybody do that. And it seems unlikely that he will go to jail. But Jen Psaki asks him the next question, what would it look like if he went to jail?
Yeah.
Walk me through this.
Yeah.
Is this even doable? And this is what he said.
So a lot of people have suggested that there are a range of factors that would make it difficult to put the system has not been tested in this way. Do you agree with that it would be difficult or nearly impossible for the law enforcement institutions to put him in actual jail?
No, they would just put him in a double wide somewhere out near the fence, out in the grass. And he would eat there, he'd shower there, he'd exercise there, he'd be away, as Danya Perry said, from general population, but it's obviously doable.
It's obviously doable. Think about this for a second. Donald Trump locked up in jail, working out, getting big, getting swole. Orange is the new orange, they say. In the double wide, eating, showering, exercising out in the yard, scared straight Donald Trump version. Unbelievable that this is where we're at in reality today. If this weren't true, it'd be unbelievable.
Yes.
So what's going to happen to Trump now? Now, there's a lot of people out there basically saying, hey, listen, Joe Biden, you should have done the right thing and pardoned Trump. What do you think about that?
I don't know about pardon. I think it's just let's get the actual facts. I think we need to just get the facts of what really took place and then move forward that way.
Well, Natalia,
yes,
they just had a court case, trial, where the facts came out.
And?
He was found guilty.
Okay, I get that. But how did they come to some of these, like, the final decision of that?
It's called evidence. It's called testimony. It's called...
Yeah, but is it really worth him going to prison like that? Is it really worth him going to jail? All of these allegations?
Well, these allegations have been proven true. That's why he's guilty.
But is it worth what he is being guilty of to go to prison?
I don't want to see him in prison. I'm just letting you know it can happen. But it was a trick question because should Biden...
I don't know about pardon, though.
Should Biden pardon Trump? He can't because, again, this is not a federal court case. This is a Manhattan District of New York court case. But you know who could pardon Donald Trump?
Who?
Is the governor of New York. Who's the governor of New York?
I don't know.
By the way, the former governor of New York is your Man Crush Monday's brother, Chris Cuomo's brother, Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York. You were born in New York, Nat. Let's get with it. But now the governor of New York is a lady called Kathy Hochul. Now there's a guy called Dean Phillips. He's actually running for president. He's a representative out of Minnesota. He's basically saying, hey, listen, Governor Hochul, pardon Donald Trump. Now, just reading the headline, you would think, wow, this guy who's a Democrat from Minnesota who's running for president against Biden would want to see the best for Donald Trump. You got to read beyond the headlines. So go to that story real quick. He said, I think that Governor Kathy Hochul should pardon him for the good of the country. By making him a martyr would result in an electoral boost. It's energizing his base, generating record sums of cash. Throw up that article one time, Alejandra, and we're going to scroll down and read his tweets. So Donald Trump is a serial liar, cheater, and philanderer, a 6-time declarer of corporate bankruptcy, and an instigator of insurrection, and a convicted felon who thrives on portraying himself as a victim. Governor Kathy Hochul, you should pardon him for the good of the country. So it's kind of like saying, hey, you're a dirty piece of shit. Nobody likes you. You smell. Nobody wants to hang out with you. Oh, my God, you're disgusting. Hey, can we get this guy a pardon? What a backhanded compliment by Dean Phillips. By the way, he says, so you think pardoning is stupid? Making a martyr over repayment to a porn star, that's what's stupid. Election charges are entirely different. It's energizing his base, generating a record sum of campaign cash, and will likely result in an electoral boost. So that's what he's saying about a pardon. Now, Donald Trump, he's also speaking. All right? Donald Trump, you know, we talked about lock her up. Now, Donald Trump, almost sort of serendipitously, could be the one getting locked up. Donald Trump was just doing an interview with Fox News with our buddy Pete that was just on the show, actually confessing that locking up Hillary Clinton back in the day would have probably been a terrible thing. Let me know when you have that clip.
Come on, just relax. Donald Trump says locking up
So,
Clinton would have been...
I want to follow up on what Rachel asked you, though, because I hear you struggling with it. I hear you say it's a tough question, a bit unsure. You famously said, regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president.
I beat her. It's easier when you win. And they all said lock her up. And I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay. Then we won. And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax. Let's go. We got to make our country great.
Yeah.
And it would have been, think of it, you lock up the wife of a president of the United States.
They want to lock you up over $130,000 of an accounting thing, and
a perfectly stated accounting thing. But, you know, people also say, can you bring the country together? And the answer is yes. Success will bring the country together, because I had it together. Before the China virus came in, I had it together. We really had it together. And it would have stayed. I think it would have stayed. Everybody was doing better. The country was doing better than it had ever done. And we're going back to those same policies and then some.
So there he is. There's basically admitting, hey, listen, it was all political fodder. It was campaign stuff. It was marketing. Lock her up. Drain the swamp. Build the wall. All 3-letter words. Basically, easy marketing for a 5th grader. And that's not a knock. That's actually how you need to communicate. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle. We all know that. But this back and forth tit-for-tat thing, lock her up. Now he's getting locked up. We've seen the impeachment inquiries into Trump, impeached twice, but not actually found guilty by the Senate to actually be removed from office. Now we've seen impeachment inquiries into Biden. This tit-for-tat thing, Republicans are going to do it to the Dems next. If Joe Biden somehow gets reelected, you know they're going to try to do something with him. This political prosecution, this political persecution, this political precedent of a president who's a resident of Washington, D.C. Plymouth Rock didn't land. Okay, sorry about that. But it's weird. It's not good. It's not a good look for the country because Republicans are going to do it to Democrats. The Democrats are going to do it to Republicans. It's not a good look for the country. And he's basically said, I could have done it. Relax. I could have done it. I should have done it. I would have done it, but I didn't. I didn't do it.
He was the bigger person, and now look what they did to him.
What's that?
He said he was the bigger person, and now look what they did to him.
Interesting. This is the swamp people. They're coming after DJT. I don't like it. But we're going to see what happens here for the benefit of our country. But, you know, the justice system, there are people on one side saying that it's the weaponization of the justice system. You have people saying, like Donald Trump, saying that it's a rigged system. You have people like Alvin Bragg saying the jury has spoken. Joe Biden saying that this is the system at work Which side are you on? Is Trump guilty, or is he guilty of being a threat to Joe Biden's presidency? Bum, 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 bum. Here's what I do know. We'll have an answer. You know, there's how many people in a jury? 12. I don't want you to say the wrong answer. So 12 people
12
convicted him. But you know who's going to be the ultimate jury? About 150, 160 million voters, United States, on November 5th. That's my girl. She gets it right every time. 50% of the time, she gets it right every time. So here's what voters are basically saying after the aftermath of this conviction, because they do polls. Not them polls. Some of these ladies are out here on these streets.
Don't be on them polls.
Talking about political polls.
Good, those polls.
Okay. So nearly half of independents think Trump should drop out following the guilty verdict. There it is right there. Unbelievable. Half of independents.
What?
So we all know a large percentage of the country is going to go right, going to go Trump, going to go MAGA no matter what. We all know a large percentage of the country are going to go left, Biden, Democrat, no matter what. But the independents, especially in swing states, are the people that move the needle.
Right.
So here's some numbers for you. 49% of independents believe Trump should drop out. It's almost 50%.
That's crazy.
50 minus 1 is what, Nat?
49.
That's 49. That's my girl doing math for y'all. 15% of Republicans, weird. 15% of Republicans basically saying, yeah, I'm on Team Trump, I'm on Team Republican, yeah, you should drop out. What? And 8% of Trump supporters said that they think they should drop out of the race. What?
Wow.
In a race that is neck and neck, we're going to show you some results in a second, this is not good for Donald Trump. By the way, you know who the largest majority of voter affiliation is now these days? Republican or Democrat? You know who it is?
No.
Who do you think it is? Independent. Independent. 45% of Americans identify as independents. You know who's an independent?
Me.
Me.
Me
Moi.
too. Me too.
I'll go left, I'll go right. Americans are bipolar. You know, they say that the sanest person, the least craziest person should win this election. Why? Because Americans are bipolar. Every 4 to 8 years, I'm going with this guy, I'm going with this guy, I'm going with this guy.
Because the swing's so hard.
You know, the one thing that I love about America, we get buyer's remorse. Oh, you don't like your pick? Remix it the next year, the next 4 years. So that's what's going to happen there. After the conviction, 25% of independents now say they're less likely to vote for Trump. 56 said there would be no impact. 46% of voters think Trump should be sentenced to prison. We are a polarized country. We are a politicized country. People want to see Trump in jail. People want to see Trump like king forever. It's a very weird time in America. But here, last point, let's look at the polls. There's a source that I trust, 538, because they are they add up a bunch of polls different together. Show this. Who do you think is leading in the polls right now? Bump, ba, 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 punch in on that. Trump is up by 1 point, 41 to basically 40.
Oh, thank
Remember
God.
I said at the beginning,
Oh, thank God.
do you know what the margin of error is though? 2%, meaning they could be right or wrong by 2%.
I know.
So Biden could have 42% and Trump could have 39% in his example. Margin of error. That's how they do it in the polls. By the way, you got our friend RFK, the little engine that could. 9.6%. Can he get to 10? Can he get to 15? Can he get to 20? The last candidate that we ever had
Can he donate
that
to
hit
Trump?
double digits was Ross Perot in 1992, 19%. I think if RFK can get on the stage, I think he could do some damage out there. But there it is, guys. Trump, guilty. The left said this. The right said this. Trump called it rigged. Biden said it's reckless. We're going to see what's going to happen. Who has your votes this November? Moving right along. So we talked about the counts. Now, let's count the money.
Oh.
Donald Trump.
I love money.
Because you might think, oh my God, Donald Trump is guilty of these 34 charges in the District of Manhattan in New York. There's no way people are going to put up with it. Wrong. Follow the money. You know how much money Trump raised in the last just handful of days since last Thursday? 4 days? Take a guess.
3 million.
3 million? $3 million, Nati.
Yeah.
Guess again.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
20 million.
20 million.
Yeah.
You're getting warm. Keep going.
Okay, 50 million.
50 million.
Yeah. 100 million. 100 million.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
200 million.
$200 million. Can I get an amen for Donald J. Trump?
Amen, Donald
$200 million in a minute.
We love that.
Donald Trump campaign has raised over $200 million in just 3 days since the guilty felony verdict. Eric Trump claims he's got the receipts to prove him. Eric Trump.
Save my boy Trump.
Save my boy. You know, Nat wants to see Trump making that money. $3 million. Nah, player. $200 million.
It's the build-up.
So Eric Trump was on Fox Business, Maria Bartiromo's show. She used to be, quote unquote, the hottest conservative out there. But, no offense, some of these ladies, they be aging like milk. Chelsea Handler, Maria Bartiromo. Go ahead, play that clip. Eric Trump, go ahead.
This might be a little inside information, but as I was leaving my house about 37 seconds ago, I asked my wife, what are we up to now? And she said, just in terms of small dollar, we're well over $70 million. This is $21 donations, $43 donations, right? Small dollar donations. If you add the large dollar donations to it, you're over $200 million, but you're over $70 million. And by the way, Maria, 30% of those people have never been seen before by a political party, right? I mean, these are Americans who are pissed off. They're coming out of the woodwork, and they want to support a guy that they just believe is getting bamboozled by a system. And we saw it with impeachment 1. We saw it with impeachment 2. We see it where they weaponize every liberal DA and AG across the country with one intent, to take him down, to slander him, to ruin his reputation, to try and divide his family, to try and bankrupt him, to throw him in jail, to do whatever the hell they can do. And America sees through it. They know exactly what's going on.
So there's Eric Trump. By the way, what a surrogate, right? He's speaking for his father.
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr. doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So he said that they raised $200 million, $70 million of it came from small dollar donations. People who are pissed, $20 here, $50 here, $100 here, whatever they can do. They're pissed off and they feel that Donald Trump is getting bamboozled. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way. There's a lot of people that are out there happy about this. Yeah, he deserves to be in jail. He's a criminal. Okay. There's a lot of people who are like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're putting their money where their mouth is. By the way, a $100 million check was cut by Miriam Adelson. She is the wife of the late Sheldon Adelson, the casino impresario out there in Vegas. Impresario, magnate, big. When you own ridiculous things, you use ridiculous words.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh, huh.
I like that.
Yeah. She like in the casino owner. There's Natalia de Valle, everybody. By the way, say 30% of the people have never even been seen before, meaning they've contributed any amount of money to the campaign or any political party. These are people just pissed off patriots. Respect.
Yeah.
Follow the money out there, and they feel bamboozled by the system. So, FTM, you know what FTM stands for, Nat?
Follow the money.
Follow the money. How do you say money in Spanish?
Mula.
Dinero.
I said mula.
Homegirl said mula.
Mula.
Ya tú sabes la mula. ¿Cómo se dice follow the money? Sigue la dinero.
Sigue el dinero.
Sigue el dinero. I do it every time. La
He's
dinero.
learning.
Because money ain't feminine. Money's masculine. El dinero.
Exactly.
Ya tú sabes?
Oh, yeah. You're good.
Yeah, wait,
That's right.
Show her face real quick.
Give us the money.
Just mi profesora,
Mi profesora.
profesora, maestra de español, sigue el dinero.
Sí.
You know,
Good.
el is the masculine version.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause the man makes the money,
Mm-hmm.
but the money don't make the man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.